Hi, folks, or moin moin, like we say here in Flensburg. Just a second, I had to turn off the music. Um, Here I am again. And first, I have to thank you, every one of you, for all the response I have on my video. You were so kind and gentle, and there were so many answers and comments and subscribers. Uh, I was so glad, and I cannot answer every one of you by writing. It's too much work, and I'm not that typewriter too. So I do it on this way. Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope will see a lot of videos from you, and once in a while you get one from me. Uh, well, we're on the pipe smoker channel here, so first I have to show you the pipe I'm smoking. It's a Faun, the Faun 2013. I think it's a nice pipe for sitting in the evening, drinking beer, and reading a book or making a video. It's a pipe that can stand. I have a book here. You see it stands, if my hand is not shaky. And there's a little silver plate on the bottom and a silver ring. And it's good. It's lightweight and it's good in the hand. Like I heard today, everyone says it's a good smoker. I can say it's a good smoker. And in this pipe, I have the Davidoff. I hope I Danish mixture. Oh, this way. Davidoff Danish mixture. It's a light aromatic tobacco. Tastes very good, not too aromatic, a little bit fruity. It's okay. I change sometime from aromatics to flakes to Virginia and Burley flakes. For 70% I smoke Virginias, but once in a while I have, especially at this time of the day, I smoke the aromatic tobaccos. The other thing I'm doing right now is having my we say in Germany Feierabend beer, which means the beer when the day is done, when the work is done, then sit down and having a beer. I think you guys in the U.S. and Great Britain, Ireland, wherever you are doing the same. I have here after work said by a retired man, well, but I still have a little bit homework to do, and my wife expects that I do some work in the house while she is working. So it's Feierabend. Work a day is over. I'm drinking a beer right now. It's a good Flensburger Pilsner. It's a great beer. Well, everyone said the beer from his region is the best one, so I say this here in Flensburg is good and very, very tasty beer. I have the good glass, Flensburg, and cheers. Mud in your eye. But another thing is, I think you might be interested in to hear a little bit about me, about my relationships. Relationship, I think it's a real word, the good word for with the U.S. Well, it started when I finished the learning of my job. I was 18. I lived in Stuttgart for 2 years. And there I lived right beside an American Army base, helicopter and all these things. And there were a lot of American barracks. So one day I met some GIs and we got friends. And So we spent many time together, because I was also strange in this little town, because I just moved there from another part of Germany. And the only people I didn't know in the first time were my colleagues. So I was together with these American soldiers, and they took me into the barracks. We were bowling, we seen movies in English, and I didn't understand any words, so I learned it. And I was in the bars, in the enlisted men bars, or the non-commissioned officer bars. And the first I learned were the dirty words. I don't use them here on YouTube, but that was the first I learned. And so I learned a little bit and learned more, and always it was enough to get around. Later on, I joined the Navy, and beginning of 1970, it was about January, they sent me to America, to Newport, Rhode Island, and there I was on a naval base. It was a ship security school. I learned firefighting, damage control, and all this thing, a sailor. I was no specialist. I was just a sailor. I was no artillery. I was electronic or something. I was just a regular seaman. We always said anything that stands has to be painted, and anything that moves has to be saluted. And I was just sailor. And there I was for 2 months, and learned all these things. And then I was transferred to Boston, where the German government bought a destroyer, a guided missile destroyer. His name was Rommel, DDG 187, destroyer guided missile. And it was built in Bass, Maine, and then brought to Boston. And there we had this get the ship ready, and also get the ship on duty was Admiral. So it was a big party and everything. So I stayed about 2 months in Boston, and then I sailed. In Boston, I met also a lot of American Navy guys, and Marines, and also a lot of civilian people in Boston, um, in the Boylston Street, and some beer drinking places. I met a lot of people and had a real good time. But as any sailor, the most of the time I spent in bars. I didn't see much about the city or much about other things. Um, but I met a lot of nice people. Also, a lot of students from the university in Boston. It was good, because it was funny. We always ran around in uniform, in German naval uniform. So everybody asked us where you're from, and so that's why I met a lot of people. Well, after that, the ship sailed the East Coast, and we stayed in Norfolk a few weeks to did the Navy work, get the ship ready for the next turn, get ammunition and everything. And then I was transferred to Demneck, Virginia, to an artillery school. I stayed there because I spoke a little bit English, so I was a translator for the artillery sailors who went to school there, which means everybody was sleeping and I had to be awake and to tell them what the teacher is telling. After this time, we were in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, uh, about 2 weeks, and then we went in the Caribbean together with an American naval convoy. Spent 6 weeks in Guantanamo, Cuba, in the naval base. I think the Americans called it Gitmo, and we played war there, and had they called it squad team, had American officers aboard. They showed if this dumb German get everything right. And then we sailed all the way in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Roosevelt Roads, stayed in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We went to Jamaica, and all these things where American destroyers also go, because we always were together with American destroyers. I don't know if they followed us because they saw we get lost. I don't know. I was just a regular seaman, so I did not know what the high officers mentioned there. And after that, I get back to Boston. It was almost a year. Um, then I flew back to Germany and served the last years in the Navy. And I get out in 1974, back in a civilian job. But when I get married, I always said I want to go to America again. So my wife and me, we went the first time over there, 1983, and we flew to New York, stayed there 3 days, and that was a town I didn't like that much. It was too big. Even if we only see Manhattan, have seen Manhattan, uh, the regular tourist tour. But then the adventure started because we just took a Greyhound bus and went right in the middle of the country to Oklahoma City. And that's when my love to the southwestern states started. Uh, it was great. There we stayed one day or a night, and then we rented a car and went all the way through Oklahoma, Texas, down to the great Bend National Park, over to Arizona, New Mexico, the north of California. It was great. And since this time, we did it maybe all 3 or 4 years. We made a journey over there, even together with our girls. They were born later. We made journeys. We stayed a week in Williams, Arizona, and looked all the mountainsides there. We went down to Phoenix and well, and always met nice people, very good hospitality, and it was a great time. Well, that's my relationships to the U.S., and I still think about it and still think about the good time. Because my daughter was living in Canada for more than a year. She had a work and travel visa. She lived there on some ranches in Rocky Mountains in British Columbia. We visited Canada 2 years ago, and it was so great. It's such a great country. It was beautiful landscapes and nice people. So we decide we're going back to Ireland next summer, and the year after we go into Canada again. But still, I got America in my mind because I want to see the New England again, the countryside in America. I've seen as a young lad, and I want to go there again. I want to see Boston again, and I want to go southwest again. But maybe in about 3 or 4 years. Depends also. We have to save a little money, but we will do it because we like it. The only thing we don't like is how tourists are treated at the border right now after 9/11s. But uh, but can't do anything about it. But we will come over to America. Yeah, that's almost it. I have to tell you. Oh yeah, another thing is since I'm 14, even when I didn't speak any English, I start collecting country music, all kind, bluegrass, country rock, western, honky tonk, and all this stuff. And I have almost a few hundred, maybe 600, 700 albums, vinyl, and I have same amount, at least same amount CDs, and a lot of music from on MP3, and I'm just listening country music the whole day, all kind of, also swing, blues, but the important thing for me is good country. Not the stuff right now. It's more pop what they're doing right now, but all these older things I love, even if it's bluegrass and all kind. And that's also a lot of things that remind me of the good time I had in America. And one day I'll be over there and see your country again. Well, that's almost all I have to tell you. And yeah, that's it. Next time we talk about tobacco, especially American tobacco, I love. And it's hard to get here. You can order it over there, but the German Czechs, they're gangsters, robbers, whatever you would call them. So we talk next time about the tobacco I smoke here, the tobacco I love, about pipes, and that's it. Have a good time, stay healthy, and I'm looking for your videos. Bye.